All right, I think we're live. Okay, let me get. Let me get the questions. How do I share this? How do I share this? Okay, guys. Hello, everyone. This is Max from Winding Tree, and this is our first AMA in 3 months, something like that. Because we skipped a couple because there were no new questions. But as far as instant today, we have 25. I see some new people. I see some old people in the questions here, which is cool. But okay, so we have all right, we have a bunch of people asking stuff, which is great. I haven't seen those questions. Spencer was compiling them. Well, I have seen some of them, but I haven't seen all of them. So watch me stutter online. Okay, so all right, so I have the link to have Spencer online here with me, overseeing this. All right, cool, awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you for your support. Thank you for your continued interest. As I said, there are some new people who are asking questions. There are some old people. That is, well, maybe they're young, but I haven't. I have seen them before asking questions. So that's great. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all those lovely and lively conversations in the Winding Tree community chat. Oh man, there's a bunch of questions. There's a very lively conversation going there. That's awesome. We have a lot of stuff that we're working on. We have quite a bit of restructuring happening at the company. In a good way, we're finishing some projects, we're releasing some projects. And the thing is, and I see that in the chat all the time, like, hey, can you talk about your partnerships and stuff? And Spencer is defending our position, with some of those things. They're telling us explicitly, hey, no, like, we are changing this, we're changing that. You cannot announce anything yet. We haven't announced our project yet, et cetera, et cetera. And I know we've been saying that for quite a while, but with some of those companies that we're working with, they're really, really big companies. And, it takes a lot of time. But I'm very excited about a call that's happening tomorrow. So we'll see how that's going to go. But I'm very positive that, again, in the next couple months, well, maybe as soon as possible, as soon as we have the green light from these companies, we will be announcing those partnerships, and you will be among the first to know about those. You know that we have been working on a travel booking website recently, so this may give you an idea, what we're working on. I think some other people, some other companies that we talked to unknowingly leaked some information. So information is out there, but not all of the information, of course. So there's still some stuff that, well, no one quite knows about. So it's good. Um, yeah, guys, I need your help. We are hiring for a few positions at our company. We are working on old things and new things, and we QA. And we were discussing with the team. One of our colleagues, Matthew, of course, he is fully right now dedicated to one of those very, very important projects, and he's the best person to do that. He's like a ninja, right? But we need his full dedication to that project, and he was sort of filling the role of the CTO, and we don't have the CTO right now. Uh, I'm technical as well, but I just simply don't have time for that. So if you know a good CTO who's excited about blockchains, who's excited about, well, I don't know what's exciting about travel these days. Are there any software engineers who are excited about travel? Talk to me. We need, we need a kick-ass CTO. We need a kick-ass QA. If you know people, let them know. And I don't know, reach out to me on Telegram or reach out to me via email. I'm at max@windingtree.com. You know my email. I say it all the time. But yeah, we need help. We have a lot of stuff to do. And we need people, smart people. But anyway, let's get to the questions over here. All right. So number one, I think the order is, well, there's no, okay. The order is chronological. I'm basically answering the first question that we got, and that's how we're going to roll. And, I see a few people asking multiple questions here. Maybe we should limit that to, like, I don't know, 2 questions per person next time to let others ask as well. But anyway, question number 1 from Jelmer. A few days ago, there was discussion on Telegram about the possibility of crowdfunding some. Okay, so crowdfunding and hiring a developer to fix the Uniswap issues. That's something that could be done, and could Winding Tree team handle that so we know it's done responsibly? I saw that discussion, but very, very briefly. I think it's an important issue. How about, I'm going to put a note over here. I'm going to discuss it with the team tomorrow. And we'll get working on that. I'm not sure, the question is that something that could be done, and could the Winding Tree team handle that so that we know it's done responsibly? I don't know. How about we discuss it with the team and get back to you? And that one, I just don't understand the it's done responsibly part. I know that it can be done for sure. The question is, are we going to do it or not, right? My job is at Winding Tree is to make sure we do not have a lot of projects that we're working on at the same time. And we have quite a few things that we're working on. And, one of the problems, I don't know, at Y Combinator or in Silicon Valley in general, the mantra is it's laser focus. You have 1,000 different things, and I keep receiving emails of like, hey, this is the business case that you should work on. That's the thing that you should work on. Guys, we have 1,000 things like that. And we thought about 99.9% of what you could potentially say, and we decided to work on things that we're working on. And thank you, of course. I really, really do appreciate the interest and everything, but we have to make sure that the team maintains a laser focus. And that's my job. So I will be personally taking over this part, and I will report in about a month, or maybe in Telegram chat as well, and we'll see what we can do about that. Is Uniswap really that big of a deal? Big of a big like, is it super crucial? Maybe. We'll see. What are the odds of the project failing due to running out of funds at the end of the year, or has your projected runway changed? What are you doing to prevent this? We have about 18 months of runway actually right now, so I think we're good. Yeah, 18 months to like 2 years or something. So we have quite some time. We have a few projects that we're betting on, and those are going through. Like I think very positively about all of those opportunities that we have. So that's awesome. What are the impressions of the hotels? That's a question from Stefan, and the previous was from Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. From Stefan. What are the impressions of the hotels or other businesses already using the platform? Good question, Stefan. So we talked to a variety of different hotels, airlines, as you know, and in terms of their technological prowess, they're all over the place. Well, some of them are very technically inclined. Some of them, they don't know what the API is, right? To those technically inclined and those people that are looking into the future, the platform makes absolutely perfect sense. Those businesses, though, let's say we're talking to a hotel, they're technically inclined, they're looking into the future, they understand what needs to be done, they understand the problems, the centralization, decentralization. But the landscape, like this one particular company, we're talking to them using the platform, but they're saying, well, we are dependent on our property management system, which is this big company, and we go to them and they tell us to pay $10,000 to enable an API. So we have a variety of very, very different interesting issues here that we have to overcome. So in this particular case, there's a third party in the equation who's not interested in the Winding Tree success or doing anything great for hotels at all. They're just making money on the software that they provide to them. And that's it. We, like in this particular case, we're stuck, right? With some other hotels, they're gladly connecting directly, and again, makes perfect sense to them. And we have a few ideas about how to overcome this. We have a project, and I mentioned it a couple of times. We have a project that's called Rooms, which is an open source, we call it inventory management system for hotels, where it's a simple piece of software. We're just saying, hey, this is an additional channel, which is completely, it's open source. I'm not even sure that we're going to charge anything for that, because the problem that we're trying to solve for ourselves here is accessing that inventory that we'll have on the platform. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Another question from Stefan. Where do you see the future of Winding Tree? Do you think the middleman will be completely bypassed and the platforms like Booking.com will die out completely? This is a great question. I don't think that's... I wish it was the case. I wish specifically rent-seeking or companies and entities with monopolistic grasp, I wish them to go away. I think that's going to be a long battle, like, I don't know, 10 years. I'm not talking about Booking.com. I'm talking about those things in general. I don't know, Apple App Store, or, I don't know, Android App Store. Like, the problems are the same in those industries as well, because there's only one intermediary that allows you to access content, right? And of course, they're charging quite a bit. I mean, you are familiar with all those scandals that were happening. recently with Basecamp guys and stuff like that. It's going to be a long time. I was just reading a super cool article, by the way. I'm gonna send it in the chat after this on Telegram. The guy's talking about how like Airbnb is going to die, or I think the title of the article is Airbnb is the next Groupon. It just doesn't know it yet. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal, Stefan. When, how that's going to be achieved, it's going to take some time. From Stefan, what would happen when all Lyft tokens are sold out and there are no more companies to join the platform? Let me think about that one. What would happen when we spend all the dollars that we have and there's nothing more to buy? Yeah, I think that's very hypothetical. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to answer that. I mean, there will be new hotels all the time. There will be new companies all the time. OTAs, companies will be dying. New companies will be appearing. Lyft tokens will be bought and sold and changed in value. And yeah, very hypothetical. I don't know, Stefan. Maybe clarify. I don't get this one. Number 6 from Stefan. What is the status of staking Lyft token and other validation mechanisms? 80% done. And we are just making sure right now. So we have a two-sided marketplace right now, right? And finishing all of those staking mechanisms where there's no community of people who are trading on the platform, or very little community, like no critical mass. As I said, my job is prioritizing this project, right? So this is a little bit lower in priority. Right now, we're working on those important projects. Our goal is what we call seeding the marketplace. You've heard that term before, right? So we're making sure that buyers and sellers, when they come on the platform, the buyers see a bunch of sellers, and sellers see a bunch of buyers, or perhaps sellers see one big buyer that buys a lot of stuff all the time, for example, right? So that's something that we're working on. You see in our GitHub repository, you see some work that was done in the beginning of last year on the DAO. There was a lot of work on clearance directories. So quite a bit of work that's been done there, and we keep working on that. Releasing that will be in the next few months, probably, after those projects that I mentioned. From I feel like all that I'm talking about is the progress of our product and how, like, what are we doing to scale the network and to increase adoption. Seeding the marketplace, making sure they're buyers, they're sellers. Just basically manually going to people and talking to them and saying, hey, this is amazing. Do you want to agree this is amazing? If so, how about you participate, right? So that's our job right now. Another one from Stefan. What are the partnerships with Lufthansa like? Do these companies advise, or is it more a financial partnership? So we have on our website a whole bunch of different airlines and hotels listed. Those partnerships are in different stages of, not in different stages, those are different partnerships, right? They're not all in the same. And due to COVID, some, like, the nature of those partnership changes, right? So we're working with this airline for a while, like for a year. And after a year, they say, oh, no, we fired our whole innovation department. Well, because COVID happened. Because guess what? Our number one goal right now is to survive. So the nature of that relationship obviously changes. We're waiting for them to get up to the speed again. And maybe in a couple months, when travel starts recovering, we will see more interest in innovation and new innovative things. With other companies, they're like, hey, we don't have a lot of travel due to COVID. Let's do more stuff. And that's some companies that we're working with right now. Different partners, different partnerships, different relationships. Have you already incurred the displeasure of your competitors and middlemen because you want to bypass them completely? Stefan, there is, and those people are talking about us behind closed doors, and they're not saying anything about us publicly, perhaps, but we do have some pushback that we see from those middlemen, and their power. Well, they're not going to be saying things, but doors are very quietly closing on us in some cases, which is, we're like, okay, that makes sense. You guys, you can do that, all right? Yeah, there is some pushback, but the beauty about this is that you cannot stop this. I mean, how can you stop Ethereum? Like, what are you going to do? That's the beauty of blockchains. This is absolutely, or open technologies in that regard, right? And I don't know, a couple of years ago, the story that I was telling at conferences, I was comparing Winding Tree or blockchain and decentralized projects in general to the HTTP protocol versus the Gopher protocol, right? And it's a fascinating story. Read on that. Go to Wikipedia, look up Gopher versus HTTP. And the only difference between Gopher was a protocol that had more users, and it was winning, right? The only problem is that its creators, they decided to not make it an open protocol, and they decided to start licensing the software and stuff like that. So basically controlling the platform, and died out. I mean, almost instantly, as far as I understand. Read up on it. A very interesting story about a technology that's open. An open tech will always win. This is inevitable. Do you think that a higher Lyft price would make Winding Tree more noticeable and therefore lead to more companies joining the platform? Stefan, I think Lyft price has to reflect the real usage of the platform. It's that 95 or maybe even 99 projects out there, what they're doing. I mean, they don't even need the token. The token is just a gimmick, but they go on all those. They pay to marketers, they pay to market makers, and the token goes in price. But is that going to be happening like in 2 years, when that company that didn't even plan to have any software and all they wanted to do is pump and dump and drive the token price up? Like, what's the end goal? I think the people who initially invested into that token are going to lose because of that. So, and our goal from the very beginning was to build real stuff, and when we release that stuff, Lyft price will reflect that, right? So that's our plan. That's how we're going to be doing things. I don't think travel companies are monitoring crypto prices and monitoring different crypto assets and deciding based on that, we should go and join that, I don't know, use that company software. I don't think that's happening at all. The travel industry does not care about crypto at all. From Jack, could you explain it to us how the cooperation looks like with Kleros at the moment? My Greek friends taught me to pronounce it like Kleros, which is the Greek pronunciation, I guess. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. If you guys go to kleros.io, you will know more about the project and what they're doing. Jack, as I mentioned just a few questions before, the technical integration is pretty much done. I think we need to polish some user interfaces and that stuff like that. But that project is a little lower in terms of priority as opposed to projects that are designed to seed the marketplace. But yeah, Kleros are great guys, good friends. Project cooperation between our projects just makes perfect sense. So we're on that. It's happening. From Steve, when do you think people will travel like into 2019? It can be a chance for mining tree that the travel industry would look for new technology to reduce costs. Absolutely, Steve, that's what's happening with a lot of people. Again, I mentioned it before. Some companies are just scared and they are withdrawing the resources from innovation from tech. But with some companies, it's a perfect opportunity. Crisis is an opportunity, of course. Did you know crisis? It's also, I think, that's another Greek word. It means crossroads. So you just have to decide where you're going. That's what crisis means. And a lot of people are going full speed forward. So, and your first question, when do you think people will travel like in 2019 again? In a couple of years, probably. Or rather, we will never travel like in 2019 again. COVID changed a lot of things. I think people learned a lot of stuff. Travel will never be the same for sure. How? Well, that's a whole separate discussion. There's a question from John. What are you working on at the moment? What are your ideas? Come on, man. Be more specific. It would be great to have a deeper understanding of your daily business. Thank you. So, John, we have a goal, right? So our goal is to seed the marketplace for buyers and sellers to be able to connect to each other very easily. And this is your classic, what we call chicken and egg problem, right? So you go to a Facebook where there are no other users out there. Are you going to use it? No. There are two other users. One speaks Chinese and one speaks Russian. Are you going to use it? No. So we need to make sure that we have a critical mass of companies on the marketplace that are matching, right? So that's our goal right now. That's our overarching project. We want to see a critical mass of these companies talking to each other and connecting with each other without our help. Because right now they're doing that with our help. We have to do it manually at the moment. We have a series of different projects that are supposed to help with this overarching goal, right? So it's building slightly better interfaces or improving in the interfaces. It's improving the documentation. It's talking to those partners. So yeah, our daily business looks like that. We have a team of software engineers that are cranking on all of those interfaces and backend and infrastructure and the smart contract and integrating Kleros and all of those things. And then we have a team of business development people, including myself. So, I have calls with hotels, with airlines, with other types of companies, and I explain everything to them. And I say, hey, you have to come and do this. Does it make sense to you? What doesn't make sense? What don't you understand? So yeah, that's the idea. That's how roughly it looks like. There's a question from Martin. Could you explain a little further what the concept of org ID contract ownership is transferred to a DAO? Okay, let me figure this out. Could you explain a little further? So there is I have published it somewhere. So basically, we have the org ID. Org ID is at the core of our platform, right? So org ID is basically a list of companies that are participating in the platform, and its ownership, it belongs to our one of our multisigs right now, right? Which is not ideal. It's still a multisig, but it's not fully decentralized. Right now, there's simply no one, like no trial company, has even thought about the DAO, right? There's not a critical mass of people that we could transfer it to, and therefore we are not transferring it to the DAO because that smart contract will be stranded completely. We will not be able to update it and upgrade it. So that's the idea. And in terms of the new token, as you know, this is purely a governance token. There is no cost that associated with it or anything like that. The idea is that the org ID smart contract will be controlled by the DAO, and in order to participate in the DAO, because DAO could potentially vote on other issues as well, not just on org ID, in order to participate in the DAO process, you will have to have a separate token, which would be given to you if you, as a company, went through a full verification process by the community. And at the end of that process, you will get a certain number of participating in the marketplace, and companies that verify that they're real travel companies, they should have the right to vote on where the platform is going in the future. But yeah, that's future plans. That's how I want to see it work. There are many barriers as far as I see, and of course you understand it as well. If things are happening on Ethereum, yesterday I was submitting a transaction, very simple change. It's $15. It's not realistic for anyone to use Ethereum every day. If let's say you do 5 transactions a day, each is $15. Those things add up quite fast. We see all those other projects and Ethereum people. They did an amazing job with proof of stake, and I see that things will be changing very soon, and the cost of those things will be going down. And I'm looking forward to ZK Sync and all those other projects to pick up speed here as well. So Ethereum community is still it's absolutely the best. We'll be building on top of that infrastructure. Things will be improving. Things will be more fast. Things will be cheaper, and the adoption rate will be going up as well because of that. So yeah, really looking forward to that. The next question is from Benjamin. What do you think is more valuable for riding tree on glider, flights or hotels? Both are important. I mean, both are parts of any journey, so both have to be there. There are different problems with flights and hotels. Like, those are just different problems that we're trying to solve right now, but those are fascinating challenges. So both have to stay the same amount of Lyft, like a small hotel, or even one chain like Hilton. Brilliant question. We thought about it quite a bit. Probably not. How that's going to work exactly? You tell me. In a decentralized environment, who is going to be creating the rules, right? Well, one simple rule. So staking will be done through Clear's directories, right? So basically, if you're trying to prove that you are a hotel, and you submit your company profile for verification by the community, basically, and yes, they will look at your company and they will say, yes, it is a small hotel, so it's 1,000 leave. Yes, pretty please. Okay, here you go. And of course, if you're a huge airline, you will not be submitting your company profile to a directory for small hotels, right? So that will be different. No, it's not the same. Absolutely not the same. That you said, is it going to be the same amount? No. The answer is no. From David, how do you want to attract more hotels? Which companies do you think would also like to use Winding Tree? Are they the biggest company you could potentially think about? Okay, well, maybe not the biggest. Maybe the 10th biggest company that you can think about. The sales cycle or the whole process of working with those companies can take months, in some cases, years. Releasing the data prematurely could ruin the relationship if people are telling you explicitly, no, you can't talk about this. So we're not. And at the same time, we are spending a significant amount of resources on this project, and therefore, we kind of have to understand, okay, this is the project that is consuming quite a bit of resources, but we can't speak about it yet. We'll be able soon, David. Just hang on, okay, man? I feel you, bro. Benjamin, I do not understand the concept of glider. Discoverability. Benjamin doesn't understand the concept of glider discoverability. There's a semicolon there, so I'm confused a little bit. Can you please tell what do you want to do with that? Glider is simply a primer, like we're simply are trying to tell people in the travel industry, or not in the travel industry, but in general, that we created the base level of the platform, which is the org ID, which is the Winding Tree marketplace, right? And we're just trying to show to other people, hey, this is how you can build a travel agency on top of that base layer that we created. So Glider is nothing more than that. It is a working travel agency, and there is quite a bit of stuff there that went into Glider in terms of software, in terms of research and stuff like that. Again, look it up on our GitHub. If you're a travel company, if you're listening to this, you can go there and you can use the technology that we built, which is open source, and use it in your software as well. There's a lot of stuff there, but basically, the concept of Glider is it's an example of how things can be done on top of the Winding Tree platform. That's it. We are not planning to be a travel agency just yet. Maybe later. We'll see. I'm not sure, Benjamin, what you mean by glider discoverability. So yeah, maybe you can clarify the question next time. And if you're on Telegram right now, maybe, right, just text on Telegram if you're listening to this. From Alexei, will you be at any upcoming events this year? How will you promote Winding this year? A lot of events are happening online, so some will be attending, but more than anything else, we're just talking to people one-on-one. So it's a sales process, if you will. It's not marketing. We're not B2C, we're B2B, right? So we will be concentrating on talking to specific partners directly. We do have to improve our documentation, our website, so that, again, without any of our help, people can go and sign up and start communicating with each other. So that's amongst our plans. Pedro would be able to answer this question a little bit better. I think he's got a better overview of different events and marketing prospects. But Pedro is actually traveling at this moment. Yes, travel is not completely dead yet. From Niles, how do you want to promote Glider? What is your strategy in the next 6 to 12 months? So Niles, Glider is, as I mentioned, it's just an example of how things can be built on top of Winding Tree. It's a good question. We're showing it to all potential partners on the OTA side. But in itself, well, Glider will be promoted through one of the projects that we can't quite talk about yet. But I think you can guess. Niles, I think you can. I believe in you, Niles. Keycast, Niles. Felix, how will more hotels join the platform? Is it not too complex for older companies and smaller companies to adopt your platform with crypto and blockchain and all of that crazy stuff? Felix, you're absolutely right. You're hitting the nail on its head. That's one of the problems, and we face it from the very beginning. We talk to a lot of companies, and they simply do not understand this. And that's why we're doing our educational efforts. And again, those companies that we speak to one-on-one, and sometimes, of course, we go to those events and stuff, and we explain what it means. There's a learning curve. But what we can do is, and you've seen it on the marketplace, for example, we saw it. We are telling hotels, hey, now install MetaMask and now get some Ether. And it's all too complicated for them. But what we can do through the interfaces that we're building is we had the Portis integration, which it worked. Okay, it worked okay. But with that, people were able to just pay for a transaction with a credit card, for example, pay for gas instead of going to, I don't know what, Coinbase or whatever your local exchange is, trying to register there, go through KYC, acquire Ether, transfer it to MetaMask. It's craziness. Even for us. How can we solve it? Felix, do you have any ideas about how this could be solved? And this is a problem. It's not just our problem. It's in general. It's a crypto problem. The adoption, the interfaces, the understanding of this. Let me know. I would really like your feedback. From Stefan, how did the partnerships with the companies that were there from the beginning actually come about? Did you have context there, or there was a real pitch like with a startup? Not sure what exactly you're trying to ask here, Stefan. As I mentioned before, different partnerships, different partners, different stages of those partnerships, different nature of those partnerships. It's like all of those partnerships are different. I don't know what to say here. I'm not sure what the question is actually. Another one from Stefan. Is everyone on the team a full-time employee now? Pretty much. I mean, except for lawyers, except for some consultants. Yes, everyone is a full-time employee. Juan is asking, do you know when your partners will start using the platform actively? If I look at the marketplace, it seems that just some companies are registered for testing purposes, but not using it really. So Juan, that's exactly what I'm talking about. So we need to see the marketplace. We need a few companies on the seller side and on the buyer side using it actively. So that's exactly what we're working on, so that when a new company that comes on the platform has the stimuli to join the platform, you know what I mean? Like that's exactly the example I was talking about a little bit earlier. Imagine you come onto a platform and there's 100 users, but I don't know, 50% of them speak Chinese. I don't know, another 30% of them are 12-year-olds, and that's it, right? Like, are you going to use the platform? Probably not. In travel, it's the same thing. Let's say we have a bunch of hotels in, I don't know where, Paris, right? And there's a travel agency that comes onto the platform, and like, I don't know, France is completely closed right now. why am I going to be on the platform at all as a travel agency, as a travel buyer, or my first order business is in Hawaii? Like, why the hell do I need hotels in Paris? Of course I don't. Am I going to use the platform? No. So now we're trying to match those different partners, and we have quite a bit of them, to work together to figure out this particular partner. And that's why we're trying to work with big partners, because they have a lot of demand in different geographical areas, so that we can see the marketplace, and from those seeds, new partnerships will be growing. From Dots Out. All right. What do you hope to have accomplished by the end of the year? We're talking about it last year, a couple of months ago. Critical mass. It's the working marketplace, the working platform. That's the goal. I want to just sit in my chair and see companies signing up and using the platform, and understanding how to do that, and transactions going through. Of course, we're not going to see those transactions on the blockchain, as you know, but I know that those things will be happening. I know my stuff. I know how to look for those things. Guys, 25 questions. Thank you so much. I'm like, it's burning me from the inside to talk about all those partnerships, but hopefully next time, in about a month. But how about this? Community, just help me out, right? Have great questions like this, like questions like today. Please, there were a few questions that I wasn't able to answer yet, and I feel bad about it. Try to be more clear, right? What are you exactly trying to ask? What else? And keep them coming. I mean, the last couple of AMAs we skipped simply because, yeah, that's how you are going to make sure that we will have the next AMA. Let's do it, guys. Thank you so much. Jelmar, Ryan, Stefan, Cam, Jack, John, Martin, Benjamin, David, Alexei, Niles, Felix, Juan, and the last person whose name is Dods Out. Cool name. Talk to you guys later, okay?